It's Friday Night Writes with the Stop Writing Alone community. I'm Nicole Rivera, and I'm here every single week sharing prompts, exercises, and writing prompt parties for you to be inspired for the whole weekend through. Come on in, bring your notebook, your laptop, or whatever it is you want to write with, because as soon as we get started, you'll be inspired to start scribbling away your weekend. Thanks for coming, and enjoy your Friday Night Writes. This is the recording of May's Writing Prompt Party. If you want to make sure that you make it to next month's Writing Prompt Party, just check the show description for the link to join the Friday Night Writes email list. Did you hear that? That bugged me out. I put it on. Did you hear a nice little lady say,
Oh, she didn't
recording?
sound nice. She sounded kind of mean.
She was like, recording in progress. Hey, John, how you doing?
Hey,
I'm happy you guys got the message. I'm so all over the place. Let me pause too, actually. The lady's back. I have other ones. They're somewhere here because they were home. I have also, it's San Francisco Writers Grotto that does this. And I can show you in the back flap. They have all these different ones, like writing dialogue is the one I showed you, but they have writing action, they have writing character, writing humor was one of the first ones that I bought, and I did it on the YouTube channel. I think I did it on the YouTube this year. I definitely did it one of the years. So yeah, so far they have writing humor, writing dialogue, writing character, writing action, and all of those that were sort of like things to do, not genres, were last year. Maybe they published them in 2019, but it was like a whole set that came out. And then when I spotted this in Books A Million, I was like, that is brand new. And I checked the publication date, and they published this just in 2020. And in the back flap of this, they also say that they have writing memoir. So I think they are starting to go down the genre path now with these. But you may know, you probably are familiar with San Francisco Writers Grotto, because they are the same people that put out those books, that 642 things to write about, or 642 they have all different books. I have them all on my shelf. I'm not going to take them all down now. But anyway, what I love about these books is that they're like exercises and prompts. They're both, and if you're really interested in practicing your dialogue, or like I said, writing humor or diving into character, they'll take you through like a lot of different exercises, but then within they also have prompts. I literally just cracked this open as I was waiting for you guys to come into Zoom, because I hadn't even looked at it yet. I bought it blind because I do like the San Francisco Writers Grotto stuff. And I did see that they have a page here called Fill in the Blank, which is just, each one of these is like a different like story starter for sci-fi and or fantasy. And I thought maybe we should do one of those. I saw lots of stuff happening in the chat, so I'm guessing Jackie shared all the links to where we can buy all these things. Is that what's happening?
I'm ordering them right now.
Okay. I assumed all the silence was I need them. I haven't even gotten them all. I've been trying to be good, and but when I saw both of these, it was so ridiculous, me trying to get home from Florida and pack, because I bought books. It was my son's birthday. There were things. I literally purchased a box and was getting ready to ship home stuff rather than pack it. It was absolute nonsense. But when I saw these, I'm like, they're small. I don't need to think twice about this. Yeah, it was all madness. But I do really like these books. And if you're somebody that likes to like work inside a book, these have all the lines and everything for you to do that.
What's good about these particular books?
For me, what I like is that it's a combination of exercises and prompts. So it's not just, I'm not a huge fan, which will sound really funny. I'm not a huge fan of books that are completely prompts, like just prompts, because I do really like the idea of of just working my writing muscles, and sometimes a prompt is like, I can sit here and ideate and come up with a list of all different ideas of things that I can write about. And that essentially is prompts, but exercises that really challenge you to think differently about stuff, or, like go out into the world and observe in a different way. That's the kind of stuff that I'm always looking for in different um writing books, exercise books, really. Like I like I love my Storymatic and my writer's toolbox. Those are because they sort of change up the prompt all the time. Like it's something um twisty and turny about it. Whereas a book that just has lines of, start your story here isn't always that appealing to me. So this, I feel like, does both. It has, like I said, this page here that I have, page 31, the fill in the blank, is your traditional like one line prompt that we can start off with and go and write a story. But they just like filled up a page with this for you to just come up with a small idea. And the rest of the book is like exercise here. Like I'll read one to you here. It says, creating community. Divisions between communities, whether voluntary or not, are often found in SFF. Hobbits live in the Shire, Katniss lives in District 12, handmaids wear red habits, etc. Describe a few of the communities or groups that can be found in your world and how and why they came to be separate from the rest of the population. So like that little paragraph right there, just turning the light on in my head to take note of, like, yeah, these little separations are important in writing and in story, is different than a prompt where it's just write about a different community. So like that little intro is a teachable moment, and then it's challenging me to then, like I said, go out into the world or look out into the world to where are these things happening.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like my teacher brain that just like geeks out on that, but it's definitely always helps me think about story differently. And that's the kind of stuff that they do really well. I mean, these are tiny little books, but they're jam packed with like fun little things like that. I don't know if Al's still ordering. He's looking. Oh wait, he got three of them. Yeah.
Plus new paper.
Nice. I love it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you guys the fill in the blank, and then maybe I'll read the three here, and you can choose one, whichever one you want, because I feel weird about picking one. So it says, fill in the blank, finish the following sentences and write a line or two of stories sparked by each of them. What we'll do is we'll write a story sparked by it rather than a line or two. So the first one says, a character finds a child on their doorstep and takes it in. The next morning they discover. So a character finds a child on their doorstep and takes it in. The next morning they discover, fill in the blank. That's the only one I read before reading to you. Here's the second one. I'm laughing about the third one. Second one says, a starship gets stranded in space. The crew hears. You fill in those blanks. And then the third one says, cats develop the power of speech. They fill in the blank. So those are there are three more. I don't know. Do you want me to read the other three, or are you already ready to run?
I like the second one and the third one,
Yeah.
especially.
Just,
But the second one's my favorite.
I thought for you, Al, that might be appealing. Do either of you guys want me to go on, or are you?
I don't know. I feel spoonless right at the moment. So I whatever. I'll just roll with it.
Jackie, you look like you're in deep thought.
Oh.
I'll glance at the others too.
The foundling.
Oh my gosh, I kind of like the next one.
The Okay, what's that?
What's the
heck
next one,
would I-
just in case?
What the heck
Maybe
would I
that'll
write?
be the tiebreaker.
Okay, a city disappears. It reappears a month later, and that's insane.
I saw a movie with that happening before.
With an entire city?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It disappears, it reappears a month later, and
Oh, yeah.
is that
And-
it? Is that
and
where it
that's
stops?
And that's where the blank begins. I mean, this last one is kind of not too far away from where a breakthrough in space travel allows regular trips to the moon. People begin to. How you feeling, John? I see deep thoughts.
I'm wading through being really tired.
Okay.
This is kind of
You're like, don't give me choices, just tell me what to do.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. What should I assign, John? Let me think.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
I-
we don't all have to do the same one, I guess.
Not at all. No, everybody can do their own. I just feel like John needs an assignment.
I typed in the first three and I'm kind of cogitating over them.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Jackie, do you have one that's
I like them all in their own way. The space one's not so much because I'm not really a space person, but the other three I could like do stuff with, but so it's like, God, I have to decide.
I don't have a die to roll, do I?
No, I don't want to do that. I just like,
She's like, don't leave it to chance. I
right?
have to,
How
I
about
don't wanna
like bonus
decide, but
points if we
please.
use lots of them?
right. If there's a way to use multiple.
This appears just as a child appears on your doorstep and your
I
cat starts speaking.
Oh no, but seriously, that just
The
what if
starship disappears right then.
I got the city disappears and when it reappears, cats can speak. That's where I'm at right now. Because
Oh.
you just did
No.
that to me. That is what you've just done to me.
And
Hey.
stranded in space, the crew hears a talking cat.
A talking cat. Right, exactly. All right. I forgot. I did do a cuckoo timer. Let me give that guy to you. Hold on a second. You know what it is. It's
No,
cuckoo
I
timer.
can't
Stop
sure.
writing alone. It's always the same. I can't remember new things. There's so much going on in the chat. Oh,
I
that's
just
all
noticed
that's all the sentences. Thank you, Jackie. All right. So I am going to say 20 minutes. And for some of us, that's 20 minutes of writing. And for others, it might be 10 minutes of deciding and 10 minutes of writing. I don't know. I'm not sure how it's all going to go.
I feel called out now.
I said some. I didn't say one of us.
I know what you meant.
All right. I'm going to start at 20 and good luck, everybody. Oh, and I'll stop recording. I'm out of breath. I put my Fitbit back on today. And the reason I took my Fitbit off was because of Happy Campers. Because every hour it tells you have to do like so many steps. And every time we were in a meeting that was over an hour, it was like, I've missed my steps. So what the heck? And so today I've been really good, except for this hour. And it just buzzed me when I was like, I need another minute. So I just ran up and down my hallway like a maniac. I still didn't make it though. Then I gave up. I was like, I'm gonna just sit down. Oh, I'm so badly out of shape. Okay. I was so pathetic. So how'd everybody do? Jackie,
I
you
got
said you still need a lot of time.
Yeah, I don't have a complete story. I
Are
was
you
thinking I could get there, but I don't know.
are you at least intrigued by what's like started here, or is this like a I don't
So
know
I
if I'm-
wrote something that's somewhat comical, which is not my normal. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm at least impressed that I got that. I think it was looking at the books. I was like, how to write comedy. And I think that was in my head.
It planted the seed. Yeah.
Because I don't write comedy or things that could be, you know, funny or
It's
weird
not
like that.
easy, man.
No.
Comedy's hard. How about you, John? How did you do? I know you were struggling.
It's not a complete story, but yet, but I kind of like it.
Cool. And Al, did you get to did the extra minute help? Did you get to your finish line?
Yeah, I just needed to put what do you call that? So, where they leave you hanging.
Right.
Where at the end of a chapter. Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
vocabulary is not really working.
It's okay. We're all rusty, I think. So does anybody want to volunteer to go first to read?
Pick a random number.
Wait, why? Do you have a number in mind?
No, but just pick a random number, 1 through 4, and
I have picked 3. Was I supposed to say that number?
So who's the third person on your screen?
Yeah.
Oh, that's John.
Oh, great.
Sign you in.
John, you've done this.
Yay.
You did this to yourself. And then what we'll do, John, is that you get to volunteer who goes next.
Okay, cool.
I will
All right.
mute.
Well, here goes nothing. What's her name, Al?
That's Athena.
Who?
Good night, Athena.
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 Cool. All right.
Downstairs. Being charged.
Okay, y'all ready?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. I do the child's on the doorstep prompt. Okay. Fuck off. Sorry, it was my phone. We have to take this child in, intoned Mr. XXX. But our resources, cried his spouse, the inimitable Mrs. XXX. We will make do, he decided. We cannot leave it outside. It will die. Mrs. XXX stared at her husband, then started shifting boxes so there was a place for the child to sit. The evening before, life had been normal. The water condensers had been humming along merrily, and the long Martian night was cool, but not as cool as the one before. Mr. XXX had taken the unreasonable warmth as a favorable portent. And this morning, he went outside to find a strange child on his doorstep. Fat, soft, and hairless, it did not look natural. It was devoid of any planes, lines, or angles like any normal Martian child had. It also did not wear the mask Martian children wore from their first year until their 10th. But it cried like a regular Martian child, and Mr. XXX knew what that meant. Poor thing, Mrs. XXX clucked. It must be hungry. Mr. XXX rooted around in their small food storage unit. There's no milk, he said. Did you drink the last of it? He was not looking forward to milking the condensers early. He looked up to find his small house in perfect silence. He looked over at his wife, who had taken the child out of its carryall. She was holding it at arm's length, looking at it as if it were another of the puzzles she liked so much. And the child was staring back in silence. It's starting to grow on me, she observed to no one in particular. It has these things, she said as she poked the baby's cheeks. As if on cue, the child let out a planet-shattering wail, and another, and another. Mrs. XXX looked at Mr. XXX with a question in her eyes. He shrugged almost imperceptibly. And with that, the child went limp. Is it all right? Mr. XXX asked as his wife put the child back in its carryall. I think it's sleeping, she said. See? She held up a piece of glass under its nose. After a moment, the glass clouded with condensation. What do we do now? He asked. I don't know what there is to do, Mrs. XXX said. Perhaps Mr. YYY will know. The husband had to agree with this wisdom. And that's where it is.
And the names are brilliant. And
I
I mean the fact that you had to
can
read
use
it,
algebra later on in life.
the fact that you had to read it out loud every single
right.
time you had to say it.
Okay, to be fair, I lifted the names directly from Ray Bradbury's Martian Chronicles.
Okay, there you go. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I like that. So when the child fell asleep, was that from the touch? I felt like she touched the baby and then the baby fell asleep. Did I miss something in between there?
Sure.
Yeah. No,
I hadn't really worked it out, but
no,
yeah.
like it happened. I just want to know that there wasn't something that happened in between. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It sounds like she might have some sort of like way of like all moms on earth want to know what she just did.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
totally.
basically what was the spot. Tell me now.
Well,
Right.
I had envisioned like I don't even know. You know, it wasn't fully worked out in my head yet, but
Did you take a while to jump in on that prompt, or did you just say, I'm gonna do this one and go?
I decided on that one and then I thought about it for a minute or two.
Okay.
And I did something else on my computer just for a minute, just to let the subconscious
Yeah.
chew it over a bit. And then I wrote in flow as best I could.
Cool.
So
Cool. Very good.
I really liked how you took your time giving us the setting
Yeah.
with the hints. Like it was, oh, okay, so we're on Mars. Oh,
Yeah.
they're Martians.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of
Just
course,
right.
the whole story kind of brooks the question, how did this child get on the fucking doorstep anyway in the first place?
Yes.
And that's kind of what was in the back of my head as I wrote it. You know, like how did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the intrigue. Yeah.
No, the best part is that you have this couple on Mars who are Martians, but they're basically the suburban housewife kind of
Yeah.
suburban couple, like American suburban like Martians or something.
Yeah.
with the
We know
Yeah,
these
yeah.
people.
like the like it's so normal and then it's so not normal, and the whole time that was tripping me up in a good way. Like I'm like, wait, but they're
Yes.
Martians,
But they're
but
also
on a doorstep with a at a house, and I'm like, wait, I want to know more. But there's like that. It's like it's weird fictional tension, or I don't know what the term would be,
Story
right?
gap?
Well, it's the idea that you've got this juxtaposition between something very foreign and something very familiar,
Yeah.
and there's like this tension between the two, like it doesn't work but it does. Like
Yeah.
it like it's like I say, it's
jarring.
tripping me up as I hear you reading it. I'm like, wait, no, but it's like, but it made it better. Like I can't
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah.
It's just like it's funny in a way,
Like cognitive dissonance, kind of?
creative. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like it's not right. Like that shouldn't be the way it would be, but that's the way the story is. And then the names are like normal names, but they're weird names, right? Like Mr. and Mrs. Like they're following our cultural norms, but not really, right? Like that's like,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
the fun
Milky
part.
the condenser, right? Like you threw in just enough things where it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's like weird, but it's like, yeah, I like that. I like how
Yeah,
you-
and that's actually one of the things I really liked about. I haven't read it in a really long time, but that's one of the things I remember really liking about Bradbury's Martian Chronicles was that they were so rooted in normalcy, what we would consider normalcy, yet it was so inimitably alien at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. 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 It's cool.
I haven't read those since high school, I guess. And as I've discovered, I started reading the Yonavar, or however you say it, Tapestry by Guy Gabriel Kay. And
Mm.
I read that, I think in like 92, because I think I read it when I was riding the bus when I was in Austin, like trying to put it into time frame.
Mm.
And I remember reading the whole thing. And as I'm reading it, I can't remember a damn thing. Like it is completely a new
Yeah.
book to me.
Oh, that's
Which
fun.
is weird because usually I remember some things if I don't remember all of it.
Yeah.
That's how I remember
really-
all books.
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Me too.
It's so strange to me. And like I know I've read the Martian Chronicle, but I can't for the life of me remember it. So I should read that again.
They were popular enough to make a 3 or 4 part miniseries out of them back before we had streaming and shit
Cool.
on TV.
Yeah, I think I read it as like a summer reading book or something for high school, but
Neat.
I don't remember a word of it. So I should go back.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
now 'cause I didn't
It's
check
great
it, that's
because
really good.
you can read it all anew, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be new, just like this book I'm reading
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So cool.
I mean, I've reread books and remembered some things and go, hey, I didn't remember it was so cool, or I didn't remember this
Right.
part, but I remember some of it. But this is like blank slate.
That's fun.
So
I,
crazy.
I want to
All
tell
right.
you my favorite part of your story though, John.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's that?
The character development of that came from putting the mirror under the kid's nose. Like that's something you do like out in the field of war or something like that.
Right.
or
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
You
not.
would normally do in a house,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
it was telling.
Telling.
We don't know what it tells, but
Yeah.
Tell something. Yeah,
And
there's
it's the
more.
first thing I thought of, like how how you would be able to tell that an alien child was all right.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't know where the heart was, so they
Yeah.
couldn't feel that. But breathing apparatus is fairly
That's cool.
intuitive, I guess.
mhm.
Yeah, there's
Thank
a lot of details in there that are telling in that way, that it's like you're telling me something and I know there's more. It just felt like there was a lot of world building and thought
Mhm.
behind like everything that was going on there. And I know you say you wrote it in flow, but it feels like there's a depth to some of like where these people come from and what their society is like, and like Jackie said, it's really steeped in our own culture, and
Right.
that's why it has this depth. But it does beg the question of like, how did they get that culture to happen
Yeah.
where they are? And without knowing, if you had read this to me, at some other time, and I didn't know it took you 20 minutes to do it, I would think, oh, John has thought it all out. He's got a whole
Mhm.
reason for this.
Well, that's one of the things I
reads that
really
way.
liked about the Martian Chronicles. It was like one of my first exposures to real significant world building back when I first read it, when I was 9 or 10 or whatever. It was it's a thin volume, but he drops you into like such a richly realized world,
alive,
like
yeah.
straight away, and
Yeah.
it's alive. Yeah, it's like clearly it exists in his head, and he's just translating it onto paper.
Mhm. Yeah, so cool.
I love that.
So cool. Well, you're on your way with that one for sure.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So who do you victimize next, John?
Let's go diagonally for Jackie.
All right.
Oh, she's not diagonal on me. Okay.
Me neither.
All right. Hang on. Let me see how the easiest way to read this is. I was sitting at my desk in my home office, hard at work. My boss had given me a huge, tedious project that required all of my focus. Out of nowhere, I heard one of my cats making a racket in the kitchen. It's gonna be really hard to read this out loud. It sounded like he said, "I'm hungry," but I knew better. He was probably about to hack up a hairball. Still, I didn't want to find the mess later, long after I'd forgotten about it, by stepping in it. One of those hazards of being a cat parent they don't tell you about beforehand. Finished the line of code and saved my work and wandered in the direction of where I had heard the cat. My own stomach was rumbling, so I figured I'd grab a snack while I was up. "I'm hungry," Talon Long Whiskers said, and licked one of his white paws. He was a sleek black and white tuxedo cat, the oldest of the 3 felines, and pretty much the boss of everyone else, including me. Hearing him, I started laughing. "Your meows are sounding more and more human, you know that?" I discovered that the cats didn't have any dry food left, so I poured a little more into the bowl. "Happy now?" "Give me some of the salmon," Talon said. He had hopped up onto the table where the cat food bowls were and was staring at me with his golden eyes. "What did you say?" I replied. I was still amused, but now I was a little confused. Why did it sound like he was actually speaking? "You heard me." He made a loud meow, and my other 2 cats, my calico Prissy Pussy Toes and Godzilla House Wrecker, the giant male tabby, casually known as Priss and Zilla, came running into the kitchen and joined Talon on the table. Priss sniffed the dry food and turned her patchwork face back to me. "I'd really like some of that chunky tuna and gravy that we had last night. Was it new?" My jaw dropped as I stared at the 3 cats. They looked exactly the same as before. Then I twitched my nose. Someone had hidden a speaker somewhere. I looked on the shelf under the table and behind the bag of cat food. "Okay, dude, where is it?" I called out to no one in particular. It would be just like Simon, my on and off again boyfriend, to pull a prank like this. When I couldn't find it, I shook my head with annoyance and went into the kitchen to grab a bag of chips. When I headed back to the office, the cats trailed behind me. "I don't know why she always ignores us during the day," Zilla said. "I really hate how she pretends that we're not really here." His voice was remarkably deep for a cat. "I know, right?" Priss replied to him. "I go in there and try to get on her lap, and she pats my head like I'm an infant and makes me move along. So rude." Wait, I turned around. "Zilla, was that really you?" I saw Priss staring at me. "And you?" Yeah, of course it's us. Why wouldn't it be?" Zilla said. Cats don't talk. That's why. I shook my head. I must be losing my mind. You mean to tell us that you haven't been able to understand us this whole time? Kellen says as he shimmied against the door frame. You're always talking to us. We just assumed you knew what we were saying back to you. I told you she ignores us, Zilla said. And that's where I ended.
I
Oh my
freaking love
God.
that twist. I love that. You mean you haven't understood us all this time? That's fantastic. And the names are like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Those were
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh my
So you're
God.
like, I don't have cat's name like this, but what can I come up with?
I was just gonna ask. I was
No,
like, I
my
don't
cats
remember
do
you
not
saying
have-
any names like
No,
that at
no,
all.
my cats are not like that.
That was
What would your cats
fantastic.
say?
Is that what your cats would say, Jackie? Or do you
Oh
think
yes, this would definitely be the conversation. Like this is brought on real life. I can tell you right now. Like fictional cats, although Zilla is pretty much Grendel, but fictional cat, but yeah, definitely real conversation that would happen.
Oh my goodness. I'm just speechless because I really like the idea of them thinking
Yeah.
you understood all along.
I dig it. I really liked it. And Jackie, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying full attention to what you were reading because some weather just broke here and I was looking at the weather radar because
Oh yeah, I think there may be tornadoes or something coming your way or something.
yeah.
I have a friend that's a weather chaser and he's been posting live videos on
Oh
Facebook.
yeah.
In it, so
But what I caught of it, I really liked, like the names of your cats and then the fact that they're grumpy and uppity, just like cats are in real life, even ones that can't talk.
Right. It was really good. Really, really
Is
good.
that your story that you just wrote?
yeah, but I forgot I didn't fix it so that you can open it. So I'll hang on.
I did that the other day with something.
I just sent it and then I was like, wait, I don't think you can mute.
So is this one of those worlds or ideas that sort of you feel like might be sticky, Jackie, that might stick around, or was it just
how to tie it up? Like I like the twist of it, but it's not done, and I'm not sure what.
no?
do
Yeah, that's
there,
what.
right?
Yeah,
So I'm not sure how I would end it to make it a complete story. That would be because I'm sort of like, another minute or two isn't going to get me there because I'm not sure what else to do.
where to go with
you
it, yeah.
could end it with one or the other party, either the cats or the humans, somehow coming to terms with the fact that they can now, that the cats are now understood by the humans and vice versa, and
Yeah.
Or perhaps the cats told the humans something really, really important earlier.
like what they saw the
And they
husband
were
doing or
like,
something.
this is why she hasn't acted on X, Y, and
Nice.
Z. Okay, sit down. We've got something to tell you. You hear us? And then just like regale with the
Yeah.
like what the husband did or something, like, why are you still with him? We told you months ago. Oh yeah, that's a fun twist. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I really like that.
All right, Jackie, who do you victimize? Which way are you going?
Well, Nicole, you always go last, so why don't you go next?
I thought you were gonna say, so why don't you go last again? Either way, I was surprised. Okay. All right. Oh, I definitely changed tenses somewhere along in here. I realized that. I don't know what else I did not keep up
God
with.
damn it, Nicole, your tenses don't match.
As
What the fuck?
usual. As usual. Because I think I somehow started in present tense. That's what kills me every time. I start in present tense. I don't know why.
It's a first
that's
draft.
No, I know, but if I could just remember to start my first sentence in like past tense, then I wouldn't be in this situation. But I start in present tense and then there's no upholding that at all. It
You
can't
need
be
to
done.
just model the, sucky first draft, right?
I
It's
totally
first
am.
draft.
I'm just preparing you guys in
Revise.
case you hear it and you think, wait, did we time travel? There's no time travel here. There's a lot of weirdness though. Okay. There are 3 cats in my yard, 2 adults and the sole surviving kitten. The rest of the litter disappeared the same day of the Springfield Springs incident. I haven't heard anyone else discuss the sudden disappearance of small animals outside of the city, but that's what happened here. I felt bad for the cat family and have let them camp out while they deal with their grief. But Melanie, my uber nosy neighbor, says I'm being ridiculous and that she will call animal control if I don't handle it soon. This is why I'm in my yard with a bowl of tuna and a pillowcase. I'm a dog person. I have no idea what I'm doing. They've been camping out behind the shed, so I place the bowl out front and start making those tisk tisk sounds, hoping it attracts the naive kitten when I hear voices in the shed. Smells delicious, Mama. Can I get some? A little girl says. Not sure it's a trap, a woman says in response. Hello? I ask, my voice shaking. Could there be a homeless family in my shed? How devastating. This world is changing so quickly. Perhaps the mother was one of the people who lost their job when Springfield Springs disappeared. I've heard of so many of those stories, but I thought the government was helping them. I knocked on the door of the shed as if it weren't my own, as if it were someone's place of residence. Hello, don't be afraid, I said, even though I was terrified. Melanie had been sharing wild stories of desperate people doing desperate things. The sun shone in the tiny window, casting long shadows and hiding whoever had been speaking. Is anyone here? I asked. Yes, a man's voice said, though I didn't see anyone. I am here with my family. My name is Edgar Willows. I am with my wife Lydia and our child Francine. We are from Springfield Springs. I gasped. That's impossible. Stop playing tricks on me. You, madam, are not the one who is the victim here. As he spoke, he stepped into the sunlight with his family. I caught myself on the door jamb. Edgar was the cat that had been living in my yard. I don't understand, I stammered. Neither do we, Edgar said as the kitten walked between his legs. But at least now we can try to work it out together. That's it. That's all I have.
I love it. I love it.
It's ridiculous.
That's good.
I love how you how it was like all normal and stuff. Like you approach you started the story in a place of normalcy, and then like you worked in the cats.
Spiraled out. It just spiraled out of control.
Right.
Hearing
And so in other words, it wasn't like, hey, here's a talking cat.
Right.
But I was confused. Like at the beginning, you said something about like small animals disappearing or something. I was like, and like the cats were. I got confused. Somewhere there was something.
Yeah. So
That's where I was following.
So initially there was a whole litter of kittens, but now there was only one that left. And so my protagonist has noted that they all disappeared on the same day that the city disappeared,
Oh, okay.
but hadn't heard if anybody else had reported
Oh,
animals
so
disappearing
you did
outside
two
the city.
prompts.
I was morphing them, yes. And at
Okay,
first
cool.
it was going to be that the cats were going to say everyone's back now, and like when the city returns. But then I decided that somehow, I don't know how, and this might be a little idea that's sticky in my brain. The people of Springfield Springs are like inside the cats now, like they're possessing the cats. So that's, they were a separate cat family and they are now possessed by the people that disappeared from the city. That's where I'm at. That's what's happening there.
Huh.
So, but the timer went out like as I wrote the word together, and I was like, okay, I will stop there and not explain what I'm thinking, because that would be another like 10 to 20 minutes. So
The 20 minutes went by so quickly.
it did spiral out for me, John. It totally started to spiral out because it was just going to be talking cats. And then I'm like, no, it's the people from Springfield Springs. They are possessing the cats now. Actually, I don't know how or why.
If I can go meta for a second.
Please do.
I think I like these prompts the more time. Like we do 20 minutes instead of like another group that I do Zoom sessions with for writing. They do 7 minutes, which is okay, but
for a writing prompt.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would be able to do with 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just used to doing it longer, maybe. And if I practice with 7 minutes, maybe I could do something, but that would be
like,
you know,
what's
interesting
I
with
would tend
this.
to agree with you. It seems like 20 minutes, like you could start out with 20 minutes and like eventually work your way down to 10 minutes or 7 or whatever?
Yeah. I could do, so if you think about just this story right here, like I could have had a story in 7 minutes. I could have had her facing Kat speaking to her, right? Hearing the voices. That's probably around the 7 minute mark. But then I wouldn't have gotten that next level of weirdness if I wasn't,
Right.
if I didn't have that extra
Right.
time.
So like 7 minutes only gives you a chance to go for that low hanging fruit.
Mhm.
Whereas if you have more time, 20 minutes or whatever, you can go a little higher up the tree.
Right.
Well, if you have just 7 minutes, then you have two choices. You either start a story and don't get very far, right?
Right.
Which is probably where we would be if you suddenly, cut the time on us because we're not used
Next
to
week, 7 minutes.
Right. Or you start writing microfiction. You
Mhm.
write stories that are only 100 150 words long, and going into it, I only have 7 minutes and I have to write a complete story. And so you just write
You think
this happened,
different.
then this happened, then this happened, then
Yeah.
this happened, the end, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like you just sort of train yourself to write microfiction. And what we're doing in the time frame we get is we're basically writing flash, right? You
Right.
can get
Mm.
five to 800 words basically in this time frame, depending on how quickly the idea comes and how
Yeah. Like the
Yeah.
story I
I
wrote,
just
I could
wrote-
probably wrap it up in another 200-300 words.
Yeah, I wrote 607 words. So, right. So I could probably wrap this up under 1,000 easily.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I got
And this is
421. So
the biggest chunk of, of a flash fiction piece. But if I only had 7 minutes, it would be all micro, I wouldn't be trying to even start a story like this because there would be no point.
But you see,
Right.
and that's my point about like, I would need a lot of practice in that, because when I am challenged to write microfiction, it actually takes me longer. Like I
Mhm.
don't really show up in the
As
first
Mark
7 minutes with a complete idea. I'm like, okay, let me sketch out something, and then I have to parse it down
Gotta
to
distill it.
Yeah.
yeah.
As Mark Twain famously observed, I didn't have time to write you a short letter, so I wrote you a long one instead.
I thought I was leaning on my pen like this, but the cap was open. I think I just wrote all over my chin.
Oh, Mark, don't worry.
Oh
We're
my God.
writers. We have marks
The
all
ink's
over
all
us.
over, exactly, right.
Yeah,
And
see?
lead in my hand. There it is.
Yeah.
I was marked from age 8.
Mhm.
All right, Al, you are last up. Are you ready to read your story?
Yeah, I have to be a little bit quiet because the kid's asleep now.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? My microphone's like right there.
Mhm.
There's no sound in space, insisted Lieutenant McGinnis. And yet here we are, Ensign Talbot said. If he weren't so terrified, he may have sounded his usual smug self. McGinnis stared at the octagonal power-sealed door on the other side of which was the utterly inhospitable vacuum of space. When did you start hearing this? She asked. Just after the ion thrusters failed. There were heavy footfalls clattering on the steel grate corridor, and an out-of-breath Captain Corrigan rounded the corner and entered the first of the two doors of the airlock in which the other two stood. Corrigan arrived just in time to hear a fresh wail from the other side of the airlock door. Pardon me. There's no sound in space, said Captain Talbot. That's what I said. And yet, shut up, Ensign, said McGinnis, and he did. The cry, if that's what it was an impassioned bawling like an infant. The three crew members each stared at the door. Each fought the urge to punch the sequence on the nearby pad that would open the door and subsequently kill them all. The wailing cry of the impossible child tugged at them. None would admit how close each was to opening the airlock. That's where it stops. That's all I got.
Wait, so did you mash up 2 prompts? Were
Yeah.
you thinking about having the child outside the door of the spaceship?
Oh my God. That's fucked up.
I love it though.
And there's a 3-day-old in an itty bitty spacesuit.
No, but I love there's no sound in space, the repetition of that, and that it's like haunting but intriguing. And then like who wouldn't want to be opening that door? It was really thrilling. It was very good. and octagonal doors and all
okay.
of that is really, yeah, I'm into it.
Well, and then the
Cool.
way you were reading it into the microphone quietly, like you had this tonal quality that totally added.
What was the first line
Yeah.
again? It was so perfect when you just said it in your whispery voice.
There's no sound in space.
That's where it was. It was
There's
perfect.
no sound in space.
Right. Totally worked.
It's like totally a podcasting voice, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
That was awesome.
Yeah, you just tell stories with that voice, with that tonal quality, and I'm like, I'll sign up.
Right,
All right.
exactly.
All right.
Newspaper.
There for it, for sure. Yeah, that was a good one. That was really good, Al. I like
Today, President Biden. You know?
that. I'm really happy I read all the prompts and people mashed.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there was something cool in that. I'm finding that more and more intriguing, you know, the whole mashing up of idea. We watched while we were in Florida, one of the movies we watched was that crazy Army of the Dead movie, which is, you know, zombie meets heist. Like, who would ever mash these two ridiculous things up? And the movie was like, okay, but the idea that they mashed up these two ideas, I'm like, yes, that's the one zombie thing that wasn't done. Zombie movie meets heist movie. Excellent. It was really funny. But yeah, guys, this is good stuff. And I feel like, right, I'm always talking about things that I watch, but I watch Superstore, and one of the episodes, Jonah is telling his manager that he has to stop using his managerial power to get people to buy things from his wife. And he's like, I don't have any power. I'm just saying that my wife is selling this thing. And I get worried now because like I flashed this up and you guys were already purchasing. I'm like, maybe I cannot, everyone's going to like come to me at the end of the year with their bank accounts and say, look at what you've done to me, Nicole.
I bought a lot of books off of this group, man.
Right. I know. That's what I'm realizing. It's
I
like,
really need to put referral links in the
it's
chat.
very dangerous.
Mhm.
But I like these, the San Francisco Writers Grotto. I think they're
Maybe
really,
you
really
should
cool.
start running affiliate links on your
I used to do
channel or
affiliates.
whatever.
Yeah. I was, you know what happened was I didn't realize one of the rules with Amazon was that you couldn't use your own affiliate links. And I literally did that out of simplicity. I was like, oh, that's my easy way to get to Amazon. And so I lost my Amazon affiliate. And I couldn't figure out for years why. And then I heard somebody say, like, you can't use your own or give it to your family. And I'm like, oh man, I totally did that. I didn't know I didn't think, I just
Wow.
thought they would see it was me and not pay me. You know what I mean? I figured it would cancel out. But yeah, I have the bookshop thing, bookshop.org. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it was always a pain in the neck for me to set up affiliates. So,
Amazon's really strict about it because I had an affiliate site and they killed mine. And I don't remember what the reason was they gave me. It was something really dumb.
yeah.
It wasn't even that.
I didn't I don't think I got a reason. I don't know. I just sort of like,
we're shutting it down for whatever reason. It was
Yeah.
like kind of dumb. Like, I don't know if it was lack of sales or there was something else, but it was just like a stupid reason.
no, I
I'm
had
just
lack
like,
of sales too.
I tried to contest it and they're like, there is no appeal. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are
Right.
you kidding me? Like,
So when I was first blogging, I used Amazon affiliates a lot. I was, you know, that's what I did. And then, you know, once I had Alex, I stopped doing that for a while and everything sort of, I guess that was lack of usage. They closed my account. And then when I started it up with Stop Writing Alone, the first time they kicked me out was lack of usage. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to do this seriously. I'm going to really put it up and make sure I'm using it in all of my show notes. But then it got killed again. And that's where I think it must have been that I was clicking on. I have no idea what happened. So I gave up on Amazon. It's a pain in my butt. But yeah, I just crack up because I just saw that episode again recently of Glenn using his oh my gosh, my mic is huge. I have one of these filtery dudes on it, so it makes it enormous. But yeah, thank you guys for coming and joining me in my last minute. When did I send out that email? Early this afternoon. Thank
Oh,
you.
I thought it
Yeah,
was yesterday.
you're lucky. You got lucky, Nicole. I just happened to see it, and like I had the I had it scheduled in like a recurring event in my calendar for
Okay.
the writing prompt,
Yes.
which is like last weekend of the month or whatever.
Right.
But it has the wrong link in it. So I clicked on the link in the
Yeah.
email and it brought me here.
I was going to use the same link, and then when I opened my Zoom, it didn't have a recurring link. So I just made a new one. So next month, I'm going to try to just create the recurring link again. This way it should be the same link. But I was really surprised. I opened up Zoom to grab my link and it wasn't there. I'm like, oh, I have to
Huh.
create a link too.
Uh,
I was in every kind of panic. But yeah, thanks guys. I had a lot of fun. This was a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, it really was. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your writer friends. And if you need anything else from Stop Writing Alone, head to stopwritingalone.com.